Good evening. It's Thursday night, and it's the Killer Comic Show with you once again. And sorry that we're a little bit late. We were actually just reminiscing, weren't we, Tom? We were looking back at the good old days, trying to think, how long have we been doing this show for? And we worked out about 3.5 years, maybe?
3 years. But if anyone knows specifically how long we've been doing this show for, drop it into the chat so we can actually reminisce a little bit more.
The question is, how long have you guys been putting up with these faces? God love you. God bless you.
Putting up with these faces.
Well, this one mostly.
Yeah.
Speaking of faces, the captain of the ship is on his hollybobs. So it's just us two that you've got again tonight. So you'll just need to put up with these. Well, this face and that beautiful face over there. So, but I hope Charlie is having a fantastic time on his holidays, and hopefully we do the show justice. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So, Tom, how has your week been?
Oh, wow. It's been an all right week, to be fair. I've been very much looking forward to letting the lunatics run the asylum again. I mean, this would be our second week of me and you doing this.
Honestly, I don't know how they let us away with it the last time.
No.
And Charlie actually agreed to let us run the ship again.
When he dropped the message in, he was like, I'm not going to be about because I'm going on holiday. And then there was a pause. I thought, oh, he's going to text and say, we're just not going to do the show that week.
No. Do you know what I thought? I thought he was going to text and say, and I've got Peter to host. I've got Triple G to host the show for you guys. Like, and you know, that would have been fair enough. But
or Ed Vic's in to do it.
Yeah, somebody else to cover it. Yeah, it was that bad. Like, you know, I didn't know what the go live button was, and I'm pointing at it just now. That's kind of what I was doing. I was like, no, you have to click it, Andy. That's not
it's not touchscreen.
Honest to goodness. But yes, we have lots of people in the chat. So thank you so much, guys. I'm going to run through everybody that we have and say hello. So we have Batman Dixon, who can't make it tonight. Have a great show. We'll catch up over the weekend. Appreciate you dropping in, Dan. Definitely let us know in the comments what you think of the show when you get the chance to watch it. We've got Mr. Chris Bell. I've ended up being out. What is going on? Everybody's out and we're here. I'll catch up the rewind. Have a good one, lads.
I bet Connie's out.
Connie's always out. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's because they knew that Charlie wasn't going to be hosting. They're just like, I'm just going to go out. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Charlie's not in, so I'm not going to watch those two losers.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that. I can understand for sure. Fuzzy Dunlop, the one, the only. Good evening, brothers and sisters. How's it going, my friend? Thanks for joining us. And we speak of the devil, and he appears, Mr. Triple G Comics, in the house. Thank you for joining, my friend. We've got GP Venom. Howdy all. How's it going? Thank you for joining. And I just pressed the button and all the chats popped up. I hate hosting. Now I know how Ben feels. Ben said the exact same. I was on Ben's show last night. Fantastic show. Definitely go and catch the rewind. And it's such a challenge hosting. It really does take it out of you. But
you're going to have to give me the power at some point.
Mate, you're more than welcome to the power. I was actually going to get you a plane to my house so that you didn't have to log into StreamYard. You can just do it from mine.
I'll do that, mate. That would be such a good show if we didn't tell anyone that was going to happen.
We just all ended up at my house, yeah. Fuzzy Dunlop saying it's been too long that we've been doing this show, so I appreciate you, brother. I don't disagree, to be honest. I don't disagree.
Far too long.
Ben is saying Evening Killer's not got control of the TV tonight, so we'll be catching the rewind while I work tomorrow. Wednesday works. Brilliant. Hope the gang are well. We are all absolutely fantastic, Ben, and have a good evening and enjoy the rewind. And make sure you comment.
Ben's new logo.
And like and subscribe. Lots of people are saying hello to everybody. We have this guy in the house as well. Speak of the devil, we have Connie. Connie, are you out or in or out? Let us know what you're up to. Oh, there we go. There's the answer. I wish I was out. There we go. Absolutely.
She's out tomorrow by the looks of it.
Oh, Jesus. She's never in. Honest to goodness, she's absolutely never in. That is everybody. She is. She absolutely is. I think that's everybody. If I've missed anybody, I'm sorry.
Stream Elements, mate. You've missed Stream Elements, the most consistent person other than Connie.
No, Stream Elements and the duck at the start, the quack duck at the start, Mr. StreamYard himself, yeah. So what's the first thing we normally do? It's normally those killer covers because that's kind of the meat and bones of the show these days, isn't it?
Normally we do the killer covers. Yeah, I think that's right.
Shall we?
I think that's right. Is that right? Yeah, let's get into it.
Killer covers. I believe last week it was half a cover each that we got.
It was a draw, yeah.
It was a kind of a consolation draw that we got. So you know, I'll take it. I'll take it at this point. But this is the color covers for July 26th, which was obviously New Comic Book Day yesterday. First up, do you want to introduce this one for good old Charlie? Tom?
I will, mate. So Charlie has gone for the Sean Murphy variant of Alice Ever After, Alice Never After, which is the new Dan Panasian book coming out. Came out this week. Very, very nice cover. Really quite like this, to be fair. I love the key. I think the key is awesome. I think it's a really clever use of like all the bits from Alice in Wonderland. Very nice cover. I actually didn't see this one when I went through trying to pick my cover, because if I had, this probably would have been a lot higher up on my list.
You'd have taken this one. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I think last week whenever we were doing the Sean Murphy creator showcase, I know that Charlie had brought this up, just black and white inks without any color. And honestly, see if that was a 1 in 100, I think that would sell absolutely fantastically well. Because I think I mentioned last week as well, Sean's work really shows its strength whenever it's sort of stripped back and there's no color to it.
I would agree. I don't know though. I think what would be nice, I totally agree with you about it being black and white would be smart if they kept the gold on the key. So black and white, other than the key being gold. I think that would be,
that would be chef's kiss, as the kids say these days. Yeah,
bit of salt.
Indeed. So that's the 1 in 50 Sean Murphy variant for Alice Never After issue number 1. Next up, we have your pick, Tom.
Yeah, so I've gone mainly because Charlie and Andy pointed Rose Besh's work out to me. I've gone down a bit of a Rose Besh kind of rabbit hole, pun intended, for Alice in Wonderland. So I've gone for What If Dark Spider-Gwen. I've gone for the trade dress variant rather than the Virgin variant, because I think it really lends itself better to having the Spider-Gwen at the back, so you know what it isn't about. Because otherwise, if you had the one where it's Virgin, you can't really tell if she's upside down or she's upright and she's jumping. So I like this one, shows that she's upside down and she's flipping. I like Rose Besh's work. It's very Japanese manga, very Japanese anime. So I was all over it like a rash. So yeah, definitely like
it's lovely. Rose Besh's stuff is really distinctive, but I think it's a little bit like Marmite. It's like you either really like it or you can sort of, it's a bit hit or miss sometimes. But what I do really like is the baby covers that are coming out quite soon. Have you seen those ones? It's kind of a like Scotty Young-esque.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I think in particular she does this character Spider-Gwen really, really well, because other covers that she's done for Spider-Gwen have just like really popped. So yeah, this is a good shout, my friend. You're in the running. Let's just.
It's also because it's purple and my logo's purple, so it's like it
was meant to be, mate. It was absolutely meant.
Me and Rose Besh like that, mate.
So that's your What If Dark Spider-Gwen issue number 1, and then I went for this little number. This is World Tree issue number 4, and this is the Will Shrike variant. And guys, regardless of if you vote for this cover, I would implore you to go and check out Will Shrike's Instagram and look at some of the work that he does. It is absolutely phenomenal. I was introduced to Will Shrike's work through a YouTube channel that I watch, Nearing Nirvana. Highly recommend you go and check those guys out as well. Fantastic YouTube show. And they've got Will to actually do one of their covers. And I just think this is absolutely beautiful. The thing that really strikes me about this cover is if you actually look really closely on her hair as it comes down, you can see an eye. So you look at her eye, just next to it, there's like almost like a 3D holographic image of a third eye there.
It's because she's glitching, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so clever.
But I didn't even notice it first until you zoom in a little bit. I think this will be one of these covers where you don't get the full benefit of it unless you've actually got it in hand, the actual beauty of it. But yeah, I love this. What did you think, Tom?
I really like this, to be fair. When you sent it, I mean, you sent this a couple of weeks back into our little group chat. I saw it and I thought, wow, that's cool. And what I really like about it, and I really quite like minimal covers. Like, I don't like them when they're like just black and white. Sometimes they can get really, a bit meh. But I quite like the use of the negative space in this. And I think
Absolutely.
it's really clever because it's just basically, it is what it is about the book. So I think it is a cover that tells you what the story is about. It's about cybernetic glitching. And I think that kind of gives you that from this, because obviously she's glitching. So you've got that glitch. And then it's that kind of like nothingness of, the world tree is like, it is a little bit about the world's end. So I kind of like that it's like nothingness in the background and she's glitching. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
really, really cool. It's
yeah.
also probably the only cover I've seen of World Tree where she hasn't got her breasts out.
Yes, yes, which will disappoint some people, I guess. But
Yes,
I,
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think it's a welcome change from all the other covers. Plus, it's in every page anyway. Do you know what I mean? So
But
it's not
exactly.
like
Just get the book if you want some breasts.
exactly, exactly. So that's my pick. That's World Tree issue number 4, the Will Shrike variant. So are you have the capabilities? I was just about to ask there,
I
Tom. If we
do indeed.
Good man. So the vote is up. So let me just run through again. So we've got Charlie's Alice Never After issue number 1 in 50, Sean Murphy variant. We have Tom's What If Dark Spider Gwen issue number 1, Rose Besh variant. And then you've got mine, World Tree issue number 4, the Will Shrike variant. So the vote is live. Go ahead, give it a vote. And I bet Charlie's wins because he's not here and all his bots are voting for him. That's
Yeah,
exactly
I
what's going to
bet.
win.
Stream elements is there, mate.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you. So let me, before we move into our next segment, guys, I'm just going to double check on the chat just to see who has arrived. So Fuzzy Dunlop saying that you're my absolute favourite place to be at 9 p.m. on a Thursday. Appreciate you, brother.
Liar.
That is that is lovely. That is lovely for you to say. He's saying that he ordered up 2 comics this week and only one was the Jenny Frison variant of Charlie's Choice. Oh yes,
Oh,
I know when you're
nice.
talking about. That was a nice cover. Fuzzy seems to have taken a bit of a penchant for the old Jenny Frison covers.
Can you just say it? Can you just say it one more time the way you do?
Jenny Frison?
Gives
I
me the
don't even
squeaks every
realize I'm
time.
doing anything. It's just me speaking. It's so weird.
It's just me. You're so weird. It's just me speaking.
Yeah, stop it. Fuzzy saying that he didn't like the best cover. He felt it was almost unfinished.
I can appreciate that. Some Japanese manga can look a bit like that, and it is very
Yeah.
Japanese manga-esque. It's a bit like, I think she's a bit like Marmite. I think, in a way.
I think what is quite distinctive about that cover is the fact that there's no background. I think it almost feels like it's maybe just lifted and shifted that not to put your cover down, Tom. Like fair, all's fair and love and war.
All's fair in covers and war.
We've got Leon Russell who's joined us. Thank you, mate. Evening, everyone. I hope you are well. Yuko demands treats. Good evening from rainy Yorkshire, Comic Killers. Well, thank you for joining us, Yuko. We really appreciate you. And then we have Mr. Poptimus UK Dan in the house. Busy couple of weeks, so a fleeting drop on for me tonight. Well, we appreciate you dropping in, buddy, and hopefully you can catch
cheers,
me
Darren.
around. And hopefully life is good for you, my friend. So that's us up to date in the chat, guys. We're gonna, because the cat's away, the mice will always play, Tom, to be fair. Now
the pinky and the brain, the pinky and the brain.
So we are going to go into some creator showcase. We don't have a fancy
is an oracle,
intro.
The other's hench.
We don't. we don't need an intro. We can just listen to Tom doing a wee sing song. Yeah. It's fantastic. So we have our creator showcase, and it was my turn this week, and I have chosen the one, the only Mr. Scotty Young for my creator showcase. So guys, don't switch off because it's not going to be 15 slides of baby covers. And we know that Scotty Young is known for baby covers, but what I try to do is trying to bring a little bit of maybe some covers, maybe some books, maybe some information that maybe not everybody knows about. Google has been my friend this week because I've learned so much more about Scotty Young. So hopefully you will as well. So first up, Scotty Young, born March 3rd, 1978, and he's an American comic book artist, children's book illustrator, and writer. And he currently lives in Kansas with his wife, Casey. and their 2 children. And I'm well informed that he has 2 little puppies as well, 2 doggies that he lives with as well. So the more you know.
I've heard quite a lot of things through the grapevine that not only is he a talent and has a lovely wife, kids, and dogs, he is apparently one of the nicest guys in the comic book industry. Like, we're not just talking just nice, we're talking like proper, got time for his fans, will take time. He's the sort of bloke that will apologize to you if you're waiting too long in a queue. He's that kind of guy.
And it makes such a difference, I think, especially when you're at cons and stuff like that, because there's absolutely no doubt whenever the likes of Scotty Young's at a con and he's signing or he's sketching or that, he must be going through thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And just to have that little bit of patience and just treat everybody individually, I think makes an absolute difference whenever, because it's like you say you never should meet your heroes and things like that. And any person that goes up to like Scotty Young or any creator, that person could be their hero. And I think just taking 30 seconds just to make it special for someone makes all the difference. So that's actually really good to hear that's kind of the general person that he is. The one thing that I always wondered was how he sort of got his start. So what's his sort of origin story? And doing a little bit of research, I was able to find out that he was actually at a comic convention with a few of his friends, and he had like his portfolio with him. But what he decided to do is actually go to a table that didn't have, like, somebody must have not turned up, and he just literally sat behind it with his friends and put his portfolio out on the table. And
nice.
And the one person who passed and stopped to look at his work was CB Cebulski, I think they pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Who's like the editor or assistant editor, chief editor of Marvel at the minute. And he sort of checked out his work, liked it, and left him his card. And it said in this article that basically Scotty and him became good friends, and they were doing sort of indie projects together. And when he became the editor at Marvel, he asked him if he was asked if he knew anybody who could do like a fill-in issue for Iceman. And CB sort of gave him Scotty Young's name, and that's basically where he got his first ever job, doing the Iceman cover, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I think that's a great sort of origin story.
That is such a cool story, and it like knowing that, and you think about it, what a simple way of doing it. Like a simple way of getting yourself out there. Because I know artists, I've met lots of artists over the years who have gone to conventions, who are very talented, and they've gone up to like the heads of Marvel or heads of DC and they slap their portfolio down, and they're like, no, get in fucking line with everybody else, like 100%. Go away.
Yeah.
That's a really cool story that like he just went and just sat down, and then someone came to him.
And that's the beauty of it, that somebody recognised his work as opposed to him pushing it under somebody's nose,
Yeah,
and I think he obviously took the opportunity that presented itself, and I would imagine he's just worked his backside off ever since. So fair play to him. And I managed to find the comic that he'd done. So it was Iceman issue number 3 from February 2002, and it was interior work that he'd done for this particular comic. So this might be one that it's probably in dollar bins, back issue bins. If you find this or see this on eBay and you're a Scott Young fan, then you might want to pick this one up. I've never seen this book before.
No,
Tom, have you ever seen it?
No, I have. I do remember Icons though, Marvel Icons. They did do a range of these books.
I think they did. Yeah,
kind of. If I remember rightly, it was to rocket certain characters into popularity because they were, not selling books with those characters in.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was a Gambit one as well, but I wouldn't quote me on that.
That's the thing. You would pass this book every single day because his name's not on it. He's obviously not doing the cover on it, and it's just interiors. So, guys, if you ever see this book, then definitely pick it up. The other book that I wanted to sort of mention was his first professional cover, and it was for a book called Digital Webbing Presents issue number 2. Again, from 2002, it was just a month later that he got the opportunity to do this cover. Again, if I looked at that, I'd never know that was a Scott Young cover, and I've never seen it. I've never seen it before.
It's incredible how his skills, because you can tell it. I think if you look hard enough, you can tell it's a Scotty Young cover. But If you saw it on the shelf, you'd be like, "Oh, that's somebody trying to be Scotty Young. This not
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
as good."
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but that it's so cool seeing the development of where he's come from since 2002, and that just shows practice makes perfect, guys. You know, at the end of
Absolutely.
the day, you do have a natural given talent, but if you don't practice it and do it every day, it's you're not going to get better.
And
Same
it's
as
funny you
everything.
should say that. You would obviously see. I've sort of tried to keep it sort of chronological for over the last sort of 20 years of his work, and you see how his work's actually developed. And there's one particular, it was a children's book that he done that I'll get into later, and you can see where the art that he does kind of changes because of that particular book. But we'll go into that in a wee bit more detail in a second. Um, I just wanted to sort of outline some of the early years of Marvel. So first up was Spider-Man. This was Legend of Spider Clan. This was the book that was written by Keir Andrews, so it was kind of a looking at the sort of manga Spider-Man.
It
It
was
was a
such a good
5 issue.
series.
It's a great series, absolutely superb. So he
Brilliant
obviously
series.
done some covers on this, and you'll notice in the bottom right hand side there, Tom, you see the sort of, it says Scotty, the autograph. So that's his kind of that's how you would know if it was a Scotty Young cover from way back in the day, because obviously his signature and stuff like that's changed now, and he obviously uses his logo and stuff.
I feel like 2002 when they did this mini series of Spider-Man was the first time they allowed a Japanese artist to have influence on, or sorry, a Japanese writer to have influence on a Marvel comic, not just like a
Right.
one standalone shot. This was like it could have made huge things, and I'm pretty sure this then had a second run. If I'm right,
There was definitely a second run. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Because it was Kate Andrews that done the writing on this one, and
yeah.
it was only a 5 issue miniseries. Readily available. I had to look on eBay. You know, it doesn't go for a huge amount of money, but again, if you're looking for early Scotty Young work, this is definitely a series to pick up. Um, the next one was X-Men Unlimited number 41. This was from March 2003, and Scott Young actually done some pencil work in this. So very early work back in the day. And again, if you didn't know, you would just you'd pass up this cover just because it's not a Scott Young cover, but definitely one for those Scott Young fans to add to their collection. We've got Human Torch. This was the 12-issue series back in 2003. This was written by Carl Kessel, and Scotty actually done the covers and pencils for this one.
This
So
is my introduction to Scotty. This is how
is this how
yeah,
you were
yeah,
introduced to him? Yeah.
yeah.
And what did you think of the story?
Do you know what? I think the story's shite. It's not a
Sorry,
great
Carl.
story.
Sorry, Carl.
It's not a great series. A 12-issue mini series. It was basically, I think, the Fantastic Four had dissembled, and it was about the Human Torch and his, trying to deal with his stuff on his own. But it
Right.
was
Okay.
very. Me trying to remember it now. That's how good it was. It's totally forgettable. It's not like one I'll remember. But I do remember having this first issue and thinking the artwork was awesome, and it was very
Yeah.
kind of like childlike, but yet not quite. So it was really comic booky, and it's what I really wanted from a comic book, because at the time I think Ultimates was about, so that was really gritty and quite fierce. And I think David Hitch, is it David Hitch or Brian Hitch that did the artwork for Ultimates? So it was really kind of more like photorealistic, if you like, whereas this was really cartoony and very like, oh, this is cool. It's quite different. So I really enjoyed that.
It's
Series.
definitely eye-catching. I think if you had a list, if you had all these books sitting on the shelf, which one would a kid go in and pick up? I think it would be the Human Torch one.
Oh yeah,
every day,
100%.
So he also done artwork in 2004 for Venom, starting in
Got
Venom
that issue as well.
number 14. This was the Daniel Way run. So again, this is very, very early Scott Young, guys, whether it be covers, interiors, definitely ones to have a look at if you can pick them up reasonably cheap. So that was his sort of early Marvel work. It's fair to say that his first, I'm not going to say big work, because when you're working for Marvel, it's huge, but I think this was the one that sort of put Scotty Young on the radar for a lot of people. And this was a critically acclaimed series. This was Wonderful Wizard of Oz from 2008. And this is where Scotty Young was adapting L. Frank Baum, who wrote the Oz stories. So it was him and Eric Shanower who partnered. And as you can see here, this is more classic Scotty Young for me. This is what I recognise. If it's not a baby one, it's this kind of a style for me. And this was work that got him the New York Times best-selling and Eisner Award win for this particular series. Are you familiar with this, Tom?
I'm not, mate. I'll be honest, I've not read it. However, this was one of the ones that, like, during Wizard magazine that popped up, and the people were saying this is one you should jump on. It's definitely look into it. This artist is going to be huge. And I think I had issue 2 where the lion's on the branch. I think I had a poster of issue 2 just because it's cool.
Nice.
I think what I really like about the wonderful Wizard of Oz story, I've never read it, but what I like about these covers is all of these covers are just really cool pieces of artwork, and they really show, I think, straight off the bat, that Scotty Young has got something really special about himself going forward. Like, his art is very unique, very stylized, very. You couldn't replicate it. I don't think you could try, but I don't think you could replicate it if you like.
You definitely know a Scotty Young cover when you see one, and I think
Yeah,
this is definitely the series that puts Scotty Young on the map. I know that for issue number 1, there was a second printing that goes for a lot of money at the minute. It's very much sought after. So, guys, if you do see these books in your LCS, definitely pick them up, because, as Tom said, it isn't only just a good read. The covers are great, and they individually can, stand alone as fantastic art pieces. So, I don't think you could say much more than that. Fuzzy's saying here that he's been a late convert to Scotty's work. He's always aware, but never bought any. The past few months, I've gone full and have 30 to 40 covers easy and not slowing down. Do you know, I love that, though, because see, when you find something that you like, I think we always say, like, if you're doing it right, collect what you like. And I think that's definitely what Fuzzy's doing. Like, he's found something that he loves, and he's just, he's down the rabbit hole, as it were.
Yeah, definitely. Someone said to me once, we were chatting about stuff, and they're like, "Why do you collect J. Scott Campbell covers? I mean, like, you might as well just print his artwork off the internet." And I was like, "I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. However, to actually physically own the book, not only have I got a standalone story some of the time to read, I've also got a piece of history. Like, if I just print it off the internet or just buy an, just as an art piece, I don't have the book that goes with it that might have a first appearance in it, or doesn't have a first appearance in it. It just has a decent story in it. Do you know what I mean?
It's about enjoying it, Tom. Just enjoy it.
Exactly,
For me, it's just enjoying it. If you can't enjoy the stuff that you're picking up, and you're just maybe sticking it in a long box and hoping that it makes money, then I think you're doing it wrong, in my humble opinion. That's the way I look at it. But I'm going to ask you, we couldn't look at Scotty Young work without looking at some baby covers. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Tom, do you know what his first ever baby cover published was?
Oh, was it? I feel like it was an X-Men comic.
Okay.
But I'm not entirely sure. I feel like it was an X-Men comic. So I'm going with X-Men. I don't know which one it was, but I feel like he drew X-Men first.
So I'm going to premise this before I reveal the big reveal, or you can Google it. It's up to you guys. But I'm hoping I've got this information correct. If I haven't, guys, then please let me know in the comments. This is best endeavors. Google hopefully has been my friend, but this is apparently the first baby Scotty Young cover. It's Red She-Hulk issue number 58 from October 2012. Chat, let me know. Am I wrong? Am I right? I'm not entirely sure. This is what the computer says. So I'm going to go with it. I take it you don't have this one, Tom, in your collection?
I do.
Oh, do you? Really?
I do. Yeah. I have quite a lot of Scotty Youngs in my collection. Well, I used to have a hell of a lot of Scotty Youngs in my collection, but they got a little bit overwhelming, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to keep. I kept buying them just because if they were Scotty Young and they had the baby covers, but then I thought, you know what? I can't keep this up, so I'm going to go through and just pick my favorite ones and keep those. This is one of them, but I didn't think it was the first one, so I'm quite happy with that.
No, as far as I'm aware, I don't have this one. I'd love to have this in my Scott Young collection. If I'm honest, I would imagine it goes for good money. But Fuzzy's made a really good point. Why have tattoos when you could just draw on your arms? Great logic.
Exactly.
I think, yeah, that's exactly it. I see you're hungry again, Tom. Did you not get your dinner before you?
No, sorry.
No. Fuzzy was coming with that.
It's healthy. Don't worry.
Oh, well, I'm not interested then. Fuzzy thought it was going to be a Captain America book. Nope, it is not Captain America. But I think maybe 2 or 3 issues after this was a Cap. So you were close. And Connie's saying here that she never really knows how she feels about Scott Young. I get it, but I don't know if I buy into it. And Connie, do you know, I can understand that and appreciate that. I think it's a little bit of a Marmite thing. Like, you either love it or hate it. But I think what I'm hoping to show in this showcase is that it's not just about baby covers, that it's really a lot more than that. So this is where I'm going to take a little bit of a sidestep from comics. And in 2014, Scotty Young actually partnered up with Neil Gaiman to do an illustration for a kids' book. And it was a book called Fortunately the Milk. Now, what you'll find with this book, guys, is that this is probably... Stop rattling that spoon on that. It's really annoying, for goodness sakes.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys. I just lost my chi there.
Wow. Sorry, Dad.
So this was 2014, and this was the point where you can see his artwork completely changed. And you'll notice that the books that he put out after this are very, 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 very similar, because he used a different technique in this book. So a lot of the time, whenever he was doing his covers, he would do it like with actual inks. But with this one, I think he used it. I don't know what the technical name for this pencil is, but it's kind of gave that sort of scratchy effect, and that's what he used as his colouring effect as well. And from that point forward, he said, look, once I'd done this book and completed it, I wanted to do more books in that sort of style. And you'll see the books that I'm going to show you afterwards, how that style actually evolved and changed. You said, Tom, that you recognise this book?
I've heard of this book, and I think I've heard of it because I'm pretty sure when this came out in the UK, there was a debate whether this was Quentin Blake or not.
I know there was actually two. I think there was actually 2 people who done the interiors for this book. So I don't know if there was 2 versions of this book, or maybe there was like a re-release. Because when I was doing a bit of Googling on this, it was coming up with 2 different illustrators. So I don't know if this was like a special, a limited edition book that came out. I'm not 100% sure.
Possibly. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure I read somewhere, because I've heard of this book before. I've never read it, but I have heard of it. But I think it might be because of when I was going down a rabbit hole of the whole Spawn thing and looking at Neil Gaiman and stuff. And I came across other lawsuits that have happened. I'm pretty sure there's one with Quentin Blake, but I don't know why. So I don't know whether this is it or not.
We'll definitely have a look. But I'm actually tempted to pick this book up. I'm curious to see the artwork. I put obviously some of the artwork there. That's just a little taster to show you the interiors. But yeah, I think this is something that I would definitely consider picking up.
You can see his style developed from The Wizard of Oz to that.
100%. Yeah, it's totally evolved. And then this is something obviously everybody recognise. And I know that Charlie's a massive fan of I Hate Fairyland. But you can see how the art style sort of transitioned over to this. It's got that sort of same kind of a feel to it. Obviously, this is coloured and stuff like that. But yeah, you can definitely see the transition between this. This is a series that you enjoy, Tom, I believe, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't remember whether I brought it to Charlie or not. I can't remember.
Right, okay.
I mean, because I got this book in a charity shop, the first volume, and I think I read it and said to Charlie, "You'll love this. You'll think it's amazing." Or he told me after I'd got it and was like, "You should read it because it's awesome."
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I love it. I think it's great, and it's just such a good twist on your little girl goes to Fairyland, thinks it's amazing, and then spends most of her life not being able to grow up into adulthood. Going through adulthood in Fairyland, absolutely hating it, and just hacking things to death with axes and things.
It's like
What
Adventure Time meets Alice in Wonderland, isn't it? It's got that kind of
basically,
a
yeah.
feel about it. And I think this was 20 issues between 2015 and 2018. And I'm going to be completely honest, I haven't read a single issue of this.
I'll tell you what, mate. I'll send you mine, and you can read it and then send me back.
Am I missing out? Do you think I'm missing out? Right.
Yes.
Okay. I'm definitely going to add it to my list. I'm just going to catch up the chat here. So Fuzzy's saying, I thought I'd done X Factor cover earlier than that, but obviously, do you know what? As I say, Fuzzy, you absolutely might be right. Let me know if I've got that one wrong. Yeah, definitely let me know, because I would like to know what was the first baby cover. Connie's saying that there is one Scotty Young cover that I want, but I'm on the fence. Which one is it, Connie? I would more than likely one of us has got it. We can send it to you. Fuzzy saying here that I've never got into I Hate Fairyland. When something comes out and everyone goes wild about it, I always seem to step back and catch it down the line. Do you know, I get that. I get that, Fuzzy. That's exactly how I feel about some things. The premise just didn't hook me. But I would imagine just because of the artwork that it would draw me in. So I'm definitely worth giving it a go. And Connie's saying there that she's no read I Hate Fairyland, but people seem to love it. Yep, that's a general consensus. GP Venom is a fan, and of course it's a Captain America variant that Connie's looking for. Post it up on Instagram and let us know which one it is, Connie.
Is it the Bucky Barnes one? Because I know Connie's a massive fan of Bucky Barnes, isn't she?
You know that not. Yes, I know what one you're talking about. Yeah, when he's got his wings spread, that one. Yeah. Could be. So next up in the Scotty Young list of books is Middle West. This is a series from 2018 to 2020. It ran for 18 issues, and I love this series. I absolutely adore this series. This is probably one of my favorites, and what
Is it
really
just written by him?
the cover he does the covers as well for that. Yeah,
Does not look like a Scotty Young cover, does it?
it's so funny how
Stunning. Yeah.
the difference in the style, isn't it? This is kind of a more
Mm.
akin to the book that he done with Neil Gaiman. It's got that sort of feel about it. But as I say, this is a fantastic book. Do you know, actually, is it his cover? I'm doubting myself, or it might be George Corona, or did he do the interiors? I'm a horrible comic fan, Tom. I've just realised how
You're
bad I
like
am.
Connie, mate. You're like fake comic fans.
I am a pure fake comic fan, honestly. Somebody tell me in the chat. Somebody Google it. Come on, Jesus. And then next up, we've got Strange Academy. Everybody loves Strange Academy. This is from 2020 to
So
2022. Superb series, 18 issues. Tom, did you love this one?
I love Strange Academy so much, mainly because I think when you take a writer, an artist like Scotty Young, and you give him free reign, and you throw in Humberto Ramos as well, and you basically say, look, come up with something, these characters, they have, create new characters. Half of these characters have never even been in the Marvel Universe. Go mad, create something. What they've gone on to create is going to go down in absolute Marvel history. I mean, Doyle Dormammu is such a cool character, and he starts off as such an asshole, and I love it, and I cannot wait to see where he goes.
He totally needs a series like just dedicated and just his life. You know what I mean? I think his backstory as well. But yeah, everybody loves a bit of Strange Academy. Again, it just kind of showcases his writing abilities as well. And because I think as I said, it's not just about those baby covers. He's got so much more to him. So this is definitely a series I would recommend that everybody picks up. Now, the one thing I always say, comics is one thing, but if you're wanting to sort of dig deep into the history of a creator, I always would suggest that you try and find the sketchbooks that they've created. And I had a lot of fun actually trying to find all the sketchbooks, and I think I found most of them. But again, if you're watching this in the rewind or you're watching live at the minute and I've missed one, then let me know, because I'm interested to know which ones are there. So he's done quite a few, Tom. In 2004, this is what I believe he done his first one, at least that I could find. This was Effluent Sketchbook, and this goes for a pretty penny on eBay, if you can find it. Most of his sketchbooks, specifically the sort of later on ones, were released only through his website, and there were only a print run of like 1,000, which is kind of crazy. In 2005, he followed it up with B-Sides, which I haven't found yet. I can't find anywhere. I'm really interested in picking this up, or even just find a digital copy to see what the insides are like. I think this was limited to 1,000 copies, so I don't think it's going to be easy. The most interesting one for me is Junk, which was released in 2009. Only the original set was only 130, I think, 140. And it was because it was actually offered on a print to order sort of basis. And it wasn't until Scotty Young realised that was the case that he then pulled it after like 139 issues had sold. And then I think he made it available again on his website. And again, it was like 1,000 copies or something like that was made available. But I think sketchbooks are the sort of unsung heroes of creators, where a lot of people don't pick them up, or if they do pick them up, they don't realize how scarce they are. So if you see these on eBay or in your LCS, snap them up. If only for me, because I don't have them and I want them. And I'll buy them off you.
Absolutely, will do. I'll keep my eye out, mate.
Yes, mate. Yes. Next one is 2010, where he done Junk 1. And then in 2013, he created Things. And again, you can just see the transition of the different art styles on the covers. I just love to have a look inside these interiors and see what they're like. 2014, he done Daily Grind. Again, this was only 1,000 copies that were available on his website. And he's if you go into scottyyoung.com at the moment, he's re-released Daily Grind, and he's got Volume 2 out as well. So they are readily available for like $40 each at the moment, if that's of interest to you. Tom, sketchbooks. I know our good friend J. Scott Campbell has quite a few. Are you into buying sketchbooks from creators?
Yes, I do. So I've got a Livio Ramondelli sketchbook. I've got Jack Lawrence sketchbooks. I've got J. Scott Campbell's sketchbooks. I've got a couple I got from New York Comic Con, whose ones I can't remember. I've got a Humberto Ramos one, which is quite nice. I've got a Greg Capullo one as well,
nice.
Which I got from New York Comic Con. Yes, I really like the sketchbooks. I'm the same as you, mate. I think if I see them, I pick them up, because not a lot of people do, and I pick them up because, first off, it's nice to see all the preliminary sketches of how they've gone
100%.
about it and stuff, and then you get to see content that they aren't really allowed to show, as it were, like, or they've not put out there into the world, or they've done a cover for Marvel. Marvel gone, yeah, that shit, we don't want that. Same with DC and stuff. So you get to see those kind of things. And also, by buying a $40 sketchbook, that money goes straight to the artist. That doesn't
straight
go
to them.
to
Yeah, exactly.
Marvel or DC, who take a huge cut of what the artists make.
I think the last sketchbook that I picked up was Carla Cohen's last year's Thought Bubble.
I meant to pick one up and I forgot.
Oh, mate, it is really, really nice. It was I think she's actually released another one for one of the Comic Cons that she'd done. So I'd definitely be interested in picking that up as well. Just going to check the chat for a second. So Connie's just confirming that George done the interiors. Yeah, I thought that might have been the case. And she's never read Strange Academy. Connie
really is a fake comic book fan.
Connie. She even confirmed that. Fake fan show once again. Triple G's loves a bit of Strange Academy. Yeah, absolutely.
I bet he does.
And GP says it's on his pickup list. Is that the Strange Academy, GP, that's on your pickup list? Yeah. And Connie's saying that she didn't even know that artists done sketchbooks like this. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You'll find, especially in the early days, like before maybe they go to Marvel or the big, the big creators, because a lot of them, as you say, Tom, are self-published, so whatever money they make goes straight to them, which is fantastic. And then Phil's joined the house. How's it going?
Oi, Phil.
We're just nearly at the tail end of our Scott Young showcase before we dive into our reviews. These are the covers that you're looking for, Tom. I know you're asking yourself, if I was in my LCS, what would I want to be picking up? And these are, in my humble opinion, are the books that you're looking for. Mega Man issue number 1. This was the cover B, and this is very early Scott Young cover from January 2003. Did you even know that he'd done this, Tom?
I did not. But I have most of the Dreamwave books, but I don't have Mega Man.
You don't have it? I actually had an opportunity to pick it up for like 15 quid on eBay, and I passed it up, and I'm absolutely kicking myself for not picking it up. Next up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 7.
This one I
I'm
do have.
You do have that one. I'm
Yes.
I'm looking at Fuzzy because this is kind of a like his two loves joining forces. He's got Scotty Young and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm interested to see if Fuzzy has this one and if he knew this one existed. So this is from December 2003, issue number 7, Fuzzy. Let us know in the chat if this is one that you have in your collection. And then last is the big boy. This one is the trade, and then there's a newsstand of this version. So this one, give or take, probably $300-400. Tom, raw.
Yeah, raw. Yes.
Yeah, 9.8s. You're talking 4 figures, I would imagine. At
Well,
least.
I don't know because I have a 9.8 of one of these, and it's a
It's-
newsstand.
Really? Oh my god!
Yes.
Listen, guys, get straight on to Key Collecting on eBay to find out how much Tom's worth right now. Mate, that is amazing. Did you grade that raw? Did you buy it 9.8?
No, I upgraded. So I had a 9. I had a normal one. I got it slabbed, sent it off. It came back a 9.6, and I was gutted. So I sold it, and I sold it for a pretty penny. And then as I sold it, one popped up on eBay for 9.8. I thought, bugger it, I'm just going to rebuy it because I was gutted I'd sold it because I really liked the cover. It's one of my favorite covers, and I really liked the book itself.
Yeah.
Because this actually is it's a lot of what if books. There's like 5 of them, and this is the little story at the back of each book that they then consolidated into one issue. So I was like, oh, I've got to re-get it. It's one of my favorite Scotty Young covers. So I saw it 9.8, bought it. It arrived, and it wasn't the one on the picture that he'd sent me.
Oh,
So
no
he'd
way.
sent me the newsstand, and I'd actually bought the normal one. So I emailed him. I was like, this is not the one I bought. He's like, oh, well, I'm really sorry. I've sent the other one to America. So, you'd have to talk it out between the two of you. And I was like, okay, fine, no problem. Left it at that. And then the guy contacted me on eBay, the other guy. He was like, you've got my book. I've got your book. And I paid more for mine. And I was like, I'm sorry, mate. I don't know what to say. Like, if you pay me for the shipping, I'll send it to you. And then he didn't, and I've still got it.
Oh, no way. Oh, you lucked out, mate. You absolutely lucked
massively.
out. That is class. Yeah, that this is definitely a book. Is Phil saying here that he definitely needs that what if cover? Absolutely, I'm the same. I'd love to have that in my collection. I'm not paying the price for it, to be honest
No,
with you.
it is like, what is it? It's over $1,000, isn't it?
Absolutely. At least, absolutely. It'd be one of those ones where you'd be a little bit scared to like look at in case it, got a crease in it or something like that.
It's side by side with my giant size X-Men, which I never take out of the box.
or look at. Yeah, it's like one of those.
Don't want the sunlight to touch it at all.
So, guys, that was a little whistle stop tour of Scotty Young. I hope you found it enjoyable and learned something. I certainly did putting the slides together. If you want to find out more information, you can go to scottyyoung.com. His website is absolutely fantastic, and it's where I got some of the information from. He's also on Instagram. He's on Twitter at Scotty Young, and he's also got a Substack as well. So that'll take you to his Substack, where you can sign up for some free stuff. But yeah, obviously, if you want the good stuff, then you have to pay. But ladies and gents, that was Scotty Young. Tom, did you enjoy that?
Thank you very much, mate. That was a good shift. That you put in a good shift. That was really informative, mate. Actually, and I think that's one of the best showcases we've done so far. If I'll say myself.
Oh, dude, stop it! I appreciate it. I did enjoy putting that together. I think it makes a difference whenever you're finding out more information about somebody who you really enjoy and you really like, but you don't really know a huge amount about. You just know some stuff. So yeah, I enjoy pulling that together. Fuzzy, thank you so much, mate. Cracking job, chaps. And GP saying, yeah, great job. No, I appreciate you all for taking the time to listen. But guys, listen, that was just the starter for what is effectively the main course at this point. So we may as well go straight into what we're here for. It's a review week 29. So this is the books that came out last week, and the winner, I can't even remember what the percentage it got, but it was, it won. That was the main thing. I think it was over 60% or something that it got. And it's Big Game issue number 1 from Mark Miller. Tom, I'm going to give my voice a break. Would you be so kind as to run through some of these for me?
Yeah, of course, mate. So yes, so it is Big Game is the book that we're going to review. So there was a bit more covers than 4 covers. So I don't know whether we got all
We've got 8 covers in total.
Got 8 covers in total. So we'll start with the main cover, which is by Pepe Larraín. And then cover B again by Pepe, and it's the black and white variant of it. And then you've got cover C, which is the J.G. Jones variant. And then you've got cover D, which is the Frank Quietly variant, which is the guys from Jupiter. I think it is. Is it Jupiter Legacy or something like that?
Yeah, that's the one.
It's quite a nice cover, that one. Then you've got the one that I got, which is the J. Lee variant. It just hasn't arrived yet, ironically. And then you've got cover F, which is another Pepe Larraz variant, and I think this is based around the character Nemesis, which is quite a very, very cool cover. Then will be Charlie's favorite because he loves a blank cover, and it'll be his pick next week for cover of the week.
It was just a close up of Nemesis, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. This is a close up of Nemesis's arse. And then you've got the San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusive variant, which I think again is by Pepe Larraz.
And it's a bit of a cheat as well because it's one of the interior pages.
Exactly, which is why I'm pretty sure it's by Pepe Larraz.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess there was a lot of chat about this particular book because it kind of brought the Miller world together. Mark Miller was bringing all the different creations and bringing it into this universe. And it kind of felt like a little bit like a Secret Wars type event. I think the synopsis, whenever I had picked this as one of my books to look out for, and I think it was yourself who'd picked this book. Sorry, Tom. It basically said this is going to be the event of the year, which that's big talk coming from Mark Miller there. Do you want, Tom? Are you happy enough to give a wee bit of a sort of synopsis and maybe your initial thoughts on what you thought of the book?
Yeah, of course. So, like Andy said, this is a Mark Miller's kind of epic book this year, and it's all about like bringing all of his universes together. So, if anyone's read Nemesis, you'll know that at the end of Nemesis, he goes through a portal and he ends up in a world that he's not familiar with, as it were, which is how this book starts. And then obviously all the other books that we've recently had, like Ambassadors and Nemesis, they all kind of intertwine into this book. So it's a big collation of Mark Miller's worlds as they put together. The premise of this book, like Andy said, is kind of this mismatch, but it's kind of this idea that back in I think I've got it written down, 1986, that in the world there were superheroes, but the villains erased them, like completely erased them. So the world would never know there was any superheroes, but yet we have inklings there are superheroes, which is why we love comic books and TV shows and movies and action figures. So Mark Miller's playing on the world that we actually currently live in, and is trying to, it's very clever. But the idea is that the villains are running the show behind the scenes and trying to keep the superheroes never coming back, and are like playing with the government and stuff like that. And also, there's actually a really cool line where one of the characters blames Twitter, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, the story kind of expands, and you get it's one of those books that I really enjoyed because you get a massive array of characters that I've never really come across other than Kick-Ass, really. So you get introduced to all these characters, past characters, present characters that have basically killed off in the first page. And Mark Miller's got this great like knack for cramming all this stuff into one issue, and you're like, oh my god, I want more. I really want more. Overall, I thought it was great. I thought the story was brilliant. I thought the throwbacks and the nods to Justice League were really good. So obviously, this character on the page that I picked on the far left hand side is supposed to be Batman. And then he talks about his friend turning up. He's like, your friend with the powerful ring, he's not going to come and help you because we caught him earlier on and we like completely killed him. So he's dead. He's gone. And then I don't know if anyone saw this, but on Twitter, Mark Miller flashed a picture of Batgirl, as in Barbara Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And he said this character, and I'm not sure what the connection is between Mark Miller and Batgirl is.
Sure.
I need to Google it, but she actually appears in this book as what's her name now? Let me think. Bobby Griffith is the name of the character, and the final page that Andy's showing on the far right is kind of what happens at the end, and then I allude to she's Barbara Gordon. This is the Batcave, and she's trying to bring superheroes back into the world.
So weird. I didn't even get that. Like, I don't know if I was just too tired reading this. But let me ask you this question, Tom. Did you feel that because you maybe weren't too familiar with some of the characters in the Miller world, that impacted your ability to enjoy this book, or did it matter?
No, I don't think so. Not at all. I did really enjoy it. And I think, yeah, maybe it did actually. Maybe because I didn't know the characters and I didn't know what was going on, I felt invested to find out.
Yeah,
Because I now
yeah.
want to read. I can't remember the name of the group of villains at the start. But they've got their own book. I want to read about them. I want to know why they're so badass, and I want to read about Nemesis as well. Because obviously, halfway through the book, he does something that's pretty awful.
Yeah.
And then obviously Kick-Ass as well. Like, you get the bit of Kick-Ass where he's like, we should be out there, fighting villains and things. And actually, the ambassador lady, she's like, we've got all these ambassadors for all the countries, but we can't have America. They just don't like each other. So we can't pick an American because none of the Americans like each other. And I blame Twitter. And I thought that was class. I thought it was a really class act.
Yeah, I think they basically said, if we pick someone, then 50% of America is not going to like that person, vice versa.
Yeah.
And I loved the middle page. I think that was the page I picked where basically Kick-Ass is typing an email to the leader of the ambassadors to apply to be a superhero, which I think is going to develop. I think that's effectively what's going to happen because for me, the 5 or 6 issues of the ambassadors, which we read quite a few of, it feels like they're becoming a little bit like cannon fodder in this story. I think they're just going to get picked off one by one.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think the people that are going to be left standing is going to be Kick-Ass. It's going to be this Bobby Griffin, whoever she is, and Nemesis. The leader of the ambassadors, and Nemesis. Yeah, in a battle.
Yeah. And that's Nemesis is. I read the original Nemesis run before Nemesis Reloaded came out, and that's what introduced me to Mark Miller's kind of a world. And I'd highly recommend you go and read the original 4 issues of Nemesis. It's superb. But for me, I think I was a little bit, am I going to enjoy this because I don't know all the characters? But I think it actually helped, like you said, Tom, that you're not that invested in them. And I think Mark does a superb job in bringing so many characters and so many different stories and it culminating into this particular book. And I think the one thing I would have changed about this book is maybe have like editor notes or have like maybe a little section at the back where it gave you a sort of overview of each of the characters.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, just as a gentle nod to say, oh, this is this person, this is the book, and this is why it's kind of important. And just to bring everything together. But apart from that, I think this was an absolutely solid first issue. And I think it's going to be great fun. It's going to be superb fun. I think that's the main thing.
I think that, and then it's only 5 issues, so it is going to be really good fun, and it's going to open up the whole world. The whole Millerverse is going to open up. I'm pretty sure. I did check this earlier today, but now I can't remember what the quote or what the saying is. But somebody had said that they'd read all these books before they got published, and they said they reckoned it was some of like Mark Miller's best work since Dark Knight. And if not, possibly better. So, and that's saying something because he's done a lot of good stuff since Dark Knight.
Yeah. You can definitely see that this is kind of lined up for like a cool animation on Netflix or something like that. You can definitely see.
Definitely.
Or
are we about to get a decent blockbuster film? Because obviously we've had Kick-Ass; it was really good. So, are we about to get a decent Mark Miller Netflix extraordinaire kind of blockbuster film?
Because we've obviously had the Boys TV series, and that was kind of like close to the bone. Some of the stuff that was on that, and even went over the line a few times. So you can imagine if he had that sort of free reign with this story, that it would be primed for TV. So Yeah, for me, I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it that much. What do you think, Tom?
I'm totally gonna agree with you, mate. I would give this a 9 out of 10. I know last week we pushed the old button, or the week before when we were here, we pushed the old golden butter, but
We
I think
did.
this is close.
It's very close, yeah. I think if we went golden button 2 weeks in a row, then people would just be like, "Come on now, these
Yeah,
guys."
but like, come on, what's happened
What
to
these?
Charlie's not here?
Yeah, what are these guys smoking? You know, Connie's saying Big Game was pretty ace, but I'm a bit worried about the series. It just seems very ambitious. That was my concern at the start, but having read issue number 1, yeah, it was a home run for issue number 1. Phil saying that he thoroughly enjoyed Big Game and he looks forward to the movie. Funnily, we're just obviously mentioning that. He bought 50 copies? Surely not. Stop it, Phil. You having us on? Connie says she gives it a solid 8, and it's a good start, but I think issue 2 is going to be very important. Yeah, I think so.
It's gonna be a lot of death in issue 2.
Yeah, and maybe that's all we want and all we need is just violence. So
It
just
seems
20,
to, you know, what's
28
that?
pages of pure violence. That's kind of all we really need. Like, don't worry about the story. Just give us some guts and gore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So that was a Big Game issue number 1. Looking forward to issue number 2. Without further ado, let's look at Final Order Cutoff.
Final order cut off, top 3.
Yeah. Oh God, we definitely aren't hosting again. This is absolutely what is happening. So yeah, this is
The
Final Order
stereo's
Cutoff
kicked in.
for FOC, and as Charlie so eloquently puts, this is the date retailers must submit their orders before publishers set their print runs. Now, as everybody knows, we are in association with Slab Crusaders, fantastic website, great service, and we can say that hand on heart because we use them ourselves. It's where I get my weekly pickups from. So these are 3 Final Order Cutoff books that we have chosen, and if you're looking to either pick these books up or any other books at FOC through Slab Crusaders, then it needs to be done before 9 p.m. every Sunday. We haven't updated this thing. Tom, that's like 4 weeks in a row that we haven't updated this. I had
Can't blame me, mate. I'd love to be like, it's my fault, but I don't do the slides.
It's my job, my fault. 4 weeks in a row. Anyway, first up, we have Charlie's pick. I think this one was, Tom, wasn't it?
I think so, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible cover.
Yeah, I didn't think this was one that you were going to be too happy with. So this is Ice Cream Man 36.
Oh my,
Listen,
that
Ice
transparent.
Cream Man seems to be like, it's going for years. Like, how long has Ice Cream Man been going for? Don't say
Too
36 issues. It's been like 4 years or something, hasn't it? It's been crazy, but
Never read a single issue.
Have you not?
Nope.
Oh, mate, you're missing out, dude. Come on now. It's not just all. Well, I was going to say it's no like horror and guts all the time, but it kind of is. That's not. Yeah, not for you. Okay. Well, I'll go through this.
But thank you anyway.
Yeah, you're welcome. So this is W. Maxwell Prince, art by Martin Marazzo and Chris O'Halloran, and this cover is by Jonathan Martz Baravici. Is that not bread? Baravecchia. I'm committed, and I'm going with that. Good work, Jonathan. That's all I can say. I like your cover, even though Tom isn't a fan.
Oh no, I don't mind the cover. Yes, that's the only thing I noticed. Yes.
not the horrible sort of skeleton type face, but
that didn't bother me at all. But that horrific spider on the ice cream did.
Are you not a spider fan?
Oh, no, I don't mind spiders, to be fair, but that's ugly.
What if you had like clowns and spiders? Is that like your worst nightmare?
I would prefer spiders.
Okay, I hear you. So, guys, if you are interested in picking this up and okaying it to Tom, then you can hit the QR code, and it will take you straight to the website where you can pick this book up. I will quickly move on to Battle Chasers issue 12. Tom, This was yours.
Yeah, so I've gone for Battle Chasers issue 12 by Image Comics. It's back. It's good. It's brilliant. It's basically left off where it was. Written by Joe Madureira, or Joe Mad, as he's well known. I've gone for the John Boy Myers cover because he's a fan of the show / friend of the show, but it's an interconnecting cover. And if you can see the full art piece that he's made, is absolutely stunning. So I will be getting this, and I'm planning on getting all, I think it's like 6 issues framed because they look cool.
Now that I didn't know that this was a connecting cover, Tom, and now that you mention it, oh no, I might have to partake.
The issue 1 is pretty cool too that he's done. Issue 10 and 11 that he's done already that link into this are really cool.
Right, okay. I'm going to look into that after the show. Oh, this might be a rabbit hole. But yes, if this is of interest to you, and obviously pick up issue number 10 and 11, and then it'll be what, 13, 14, 15? Is it a 5
I think so,
or 6?
Yeah. I think it's 6. I think it's to make it up to 20. I think that's where it's going.
Okay. Do you know what we should do? We should actually contact James and see if he puts up just like one order for all 6 issues, a little bit like we did for the Killer Comics Alex Ross ones.
Yeah,
I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to look into this one. So Battle Chasers issue number 12, and then
I nearly went for this one.
Chef's Kiss. This is Night Terrors.
Chef's Kiss.
Harley
double
Quinn.
tap.
Indeed.
Scan that barcode.
Scan it right now. No, right now. This is Night Terrors Harley Quinn issue number 2 from DC. The writer is Tini Howard and Leah Williams, Hayden Sherman and Ben Temple Smith doing the artwork. Ben Temple Smith doing the artwork in that, that'll be pretty interesting. And then cover art by the one, the only Jenny Frison.
Jenny and the Jets.
Now, interestingly enough, it's not the first time that she's done this sort of, playing card type situation. If you go and look at her back catalogue, she's done maybe 2 or 3 other ones that I'd highly recommend picking up as well. But if our man Fuzzy's in the house, Fuzzy, this might be one that you want to add to your pool list, because I know you're down that Jenny rabbit hole, as it were. So guys, as I said, that's our FOC top picks for this week. Make sure that you go check out Slab Crusaders and have a look at everything else that's available. And as I say, 9 p.m. Sunday is your cut-off point to put your orders through. Next, Tom, we're cooking. We're absolutely cooking with grass,
smashing it. It's a shame that that's on the Night Terrors, because I don't think the book.
Yeah. The only Night Terrors book that I've really enjoyed is Nightwing. I thought that was quite a good read, but I must admit some of the covers have been fantastic. But because I know what the content's like, I've sort of stayed away. But Jenny caught my heart.
Jenny and the Jets.
So those 50 issues that Phil picked up apparently were for his pension, which is only next year. But Yuko demands is 50 copies. I thought he maybe like typoed and it was like 5 copies he was going for. But you know what? Each to their own. Good luck with that. We're going to delve into Killer Indie picks. These are your top picks for next week's New Comic Book Day, August 2nd. And first up, I went for AWA Upshot's Sins of the Salton Sea, issue number 3, and written by Ed Bryson, and CP Smith is doing the artwork. I've been kind of like shouting from the rooftops to anybody that will listen to me about this particular series. I thoroughly enjoyed issue number 1. Issue number 2 was a solid read, and I've got high hopes that over the course, I think this is maybe a 5-6 issue run.
Yeah, it says 5 in the top hand corner.
5, there we go. This will deliver. I'm really hoping that it will deliver. And it's got that sort of TV series feel about it that it's probably going to get optioned at some point. So highly recommend that you get on this if you're not already. I think if you miss like issue number 3 and you've got to like catch up, just wait till the trade comes out. No doubt the trade will be out at some point. But I really enjoyed this book. Next up, Tom, this is one that you had mentioned that you were interested in picking up.
Yeah. So the idea of it just like blew my mind a little bit. Like it's literally about it's about a comic book shop owner opening up a comic shop in a rundown neighborhood and kind of getting the comics out there and publishing his books. And I just thought it was a really cool idea. And it's a lot of like, I think there's quite a few different artists and writers involved in this. So I think I'm pretty sure Scott Schneider's involved, Jock's involved. So yeah, I am looking forward to reading this. I think I've put this as a pick for next week, as a for people to vote on. I definitely will be voting for it.
I'd read the synopsis and it looked really good. Obviously, it was originally through Kickstarter, but I believe that you can pick it up on Amazon as well.
Yes.
I don't know how many LCSs would have this unless you pre-ordered it, because I would imagine you'd have to pre-order through Kickstarter. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it definitely looks quite a cool book to pick up. The last one on the list was. Did you see that? You agree? Yeah,
yes.
Sacrificers.
There's an absolutely stunning Jenny Frison cover for this that I've already bagged.
I'm all over it. I'm all over it. And this is Rick Remender doing writing duties and Max Fiumara doing artwork. This is the Sacrificers issue number 1. I think this is going to be a big book, ladies and gents. This is from Image Comics. And the little bit of blurb says, tomorrow is a harmonious paradise thanks to 5 families who make everything perfect for the price of 1 child per household. Now, as that bill comes due, a son expected to give everything for a family that never loved him, and an affluent daughter determined to destroy utopia must unite to end one generation's unnaturally protracted reign. Dark science fiction world of the Sacrificers.
I'm so excited. I really hope, as much as I'd like the Meanwhile in the Comic Book Shop to get picked, I really want to read it. Well, I'll probably read this anyway, but I'd really like to discuss this.
Yeah, this is one that's definitely going to be on my radar. I'm definitely going to give this a read. It's just some, whenever you look through the list of people that's doing covers and the fact that it's a Rick Remender cover, writing duties as well.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
All over it. So, guys, those were the 3 picks for Killer Indies for next week. Let us know in the chat, or let us know in the comments if you're watching the rewind, if there's anything that we missed that you think we should be looking out for. GP's just jumped in to say, did you see the MMPR Pink Ranger zombie cover on Slab Crusaders? Did you see that, Tom?
Not. No, I did not. I might have to go back and have a look.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think if I'd seen it. See, I don't. You know me, Tom, and I know I don't really like saying this, but I'm not a big Power Rangers fan. sorry, not a big Power Rangers fan. So, moving on. Guys, killer covers. Do you remember when we done killer covers?
Got half each. That's mad.
12 minutes ago. Let's see what the scores and the doors are, shall we, Tom?
Oh, what a shame. Okay, so in third place for the first time in a little while is me. I'm in third place. In second place, which is a real shame because only a second ago before I hit go, he was winning. Is Charlie with who came in second, which means Andy has won this week, but only just
3%. So that's like 1 vote, basically. 3%.
One vote. So whoever's just made their vote, you've just crushed Charlie's dreams of getting a second one on the board, and actually a well-deserved one.
I could just imagine him with a pint in his hand, crying right now. I'm sorry, Charlie. I'm sorry, but no. Thank you to the 33 votes that we had, and the 27 bots that were used to make those votes. We really appreciate you taking the time. I love the way that he's done half a cover for each of us. That's just,
mate. Could have given us just one each.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's the killer covers. So thank you very much for that. Before we go into pickups, because I know that Tom has some and I have a few here, can I just remind everybody, if you enjoyed what you've watched tonight and when you watch it the rewind, can you just give a wee thumbs up when you're on your way out? That would be really appreciated. Apparently that tickles the algorithm and stuff like that, and more people get to see us. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd ask you to do so if you've enjoyed what you've seen. And you can also go and follow us on Instagram at The Killer Comic Show. And you can also follow my man Charlie on his original Geeky Guy Comics Instagram. You can follow me. You can also see him on Twitter as well if you want to. Instagram, perpetual.comics. Remember the dot, that's very important, guys. Perpetual.comics if you want to go on Instagram. I haven't updated in quite a while because my new job and been busy and stuff, but I will get back on it, I promise. And then, Tom, how can you find your good self?
So if you want to see what I'm doing comic book wise, you can follow me on Instagram under Not Quite Mint, where I'm trying to post more stuff, but it just seems to be I'm regurgitating the Killer Comic Show stuff. But if you want to see that, then yeah, join me on there. Or you can follow my personal adventure as I do personal training for lots of people around the world, aged from youngsters to oldsters. And if anyone actually wants some personal training or just some advice on fitness or nutrition, please get in contact. I am Tom Maiden _PT, and I am very reasonable.
He is. I can conclude that he's a reasonable chap. Very handsome and reasonable.
And handsome, yeah.
Mate, that should be your tagline. Handsome and reasonable.
Reasonable and handsome.
Dude, reasonably handsome. There we go.
Reasonably handsome. To be fair, I wanted to go with the geek with peaks, but I don't know.
Somebody put you off that one, didn't they?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So we have some sneak peeks. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but I think we may have a special guest next week, so we might not be doing reviews. I don't know what the situation is.
I'm pretty sure that's correct, because if we are, then I've not got my slides ready.
We're so profesh. No, let's just say that there is a vote up in the community tab. You can vote for The Ribbon Queen by Garth Ennis, or Per Evil, issue number 1 by Marco
Andolfo. Yeah.
Or, and this is just going to be like my suggestion, Tom, you probably suggest to go for Alice Never After, issue number 1.
Yeah, by is it oh, what's his name?
What's it? Charlie's mate. What's his name?
Charlie's mate. What's his name? Dan the Man Panacea.
That's the one. Yes. So all going well, guys. We should have Dan Panacea on the show if we can get the time right this time. So we're really looking forward to having Dan on the show, and no doubt we will be showcasing Alice Never After issue number 1 and doing all our usual killer cover chat and all that good stuff. So make sure that you check it out.
And any votes, you vote for Dan's cover next week. So if Dan picks a cover and you all vote for Dan's cover next week, it goes to Charlie. Donations to Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we let everybody go and get back to their Thursday evening, we're going to show some pickups. So I'm just going to run very quickly through mine. I picked up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. issue number 1.
Nice.
I've got a little bit of love for these hip-hop variants, so I'm slowly but surely trying to collect them. And because I've started down the rabbit hole, then I have to have them all. So yeah, wish me luck on that one. I've got a lovely Jenny Frison cover.
Oh, Grimm. Nice.
Yeah, Grimm number 1. You can just about see that there. Picked that up for a reasonable price. Picked this up for a few quid. Fantasy Masterpieces issue number 7. The conditions seen better days, but I just love that cover. It was a pure cover buy. Some of those
old school. Love it.
Yeah, totally. Some of those Fantasy Masterpiece covers are fantastic, and I think it's like 2 or 3 stories in one that you get. So, highly recommend getting that. I don't know why I picked this up. Stranger Things issue number 1. I don't know. I can't explain it, and I'm not going to. I picked up some horror comics. I went for Texas Chainsaw Massacre issue number 1 of the Raising Cain run. So this is 1 of 3. Tom, I know you're not going to like these ones. I'm sorry, they're quite.
That's fine, mate. Don't worry.
We've got A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Bullying now.
Tom, You Will Never Sleep Again, issue number 1. Love that cover. Absolutely fantastic. Wildstorm. Some of the Wildstorm.
I did watch Nightmare on Elm Street, and it just didn't do anything for me.
No?
But then I watched the Candyman, and my dad made me stand in front of the mirror and do the whole Candyman thing, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to sleep for a few nights.
Scarred for life. That's exactly what it is.
I actually didn't sleep for about 3 days.
We've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, this is the special issue number 1. This is like a wraparound cover. I'm not going to take it out of the bag, but Trust me, it's a
the
wraparound
bag.
cover.
Out the bag.
No,
Out
no,
the
no,
bag.
no,
Out
no,
the bag.
We've got another Texas Chainsaw Massacre issue #1. I believe this is from the same run, and this is just cover A. And there's also like a special cover of this where it's got like foil writing on the top as well that you should be looking out for. But this is just the original cover. Guys, that is all my pickups. Short and sweet today. Tom, you get anything?
I do. So I actually got some nice stuff from a I can't remember his name. And Andy sent me some books. So I got the Master of the Universe little preview book. So thank you very much for that, Andy. That'll go in my, like we said before, I'm collecting all my childhood TV shows that I loved, their first comics and stuff. And then Andy was nice enough to send me the Mask one as well.
That is a particularly lovely cover. Like, look how white
stunning.
those pages are.
Yeah, mate, it's absolutely stunning. I'm really chuffed with that. It's going to go in next to my Biker Mice from Mars. And then one I wasn't expecting, but I got the Sonic the Hedgehog one as well, which was really nice. So thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
They're all going to go in the collection. And then I also finally, and I had to get it from a different source because my original source is shite. I finally got the J. Scott Campbell Battle
nice
Chasers issue 10. So I'm very chuffed with that. It's a lot more than I thought. There's a lot more going on here than I thought.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's quite in your face, so I'll put it that way.
It's a fantastic trade dress.
It's a fantastic trade dress. And that's it. That's all I've got.
Tom, did you see this? Phil voted for Charlie without looking at the cover. Lol. He needed to win. Shocking.
That is shocking.
And he still didn't win. That's the thing. Connie's saying, I can't believe the bots crushed Charlie's dream. Not for the first time, Connie, to be fair.
No.
The Nightmare on Elm Street cover is absolutely class. Yeah, I think there's a big market for those sort of horror comics. So I've been trying to pick as many up as I can. Not necessarily to keep, so I might try and flip a couple of them, but I think it's once you get a few of them, I'm down that rabbit hole of having to try and collect them all now, which isn't great. And GP saying, Tom, I've started to pick up annuals I had when I was a kid. Oh, cool.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
That's good. I'm trying to collect all the 2000 AD Judge Dredd annuals. So I've actually got them over there, and they started from 1978. And it really annoys me because I get to like a particular year or two and then I'm missing. So it's like 1984, 87, and I'm just like, right, I need to go on eBay and actually pick these bad boys up. But yeah, no, I love those. Did you always get them at Christmas? Get the annuals at Christmas time?
Yeah, mate, yeah. That's mostly how I got most of my Transformers comics.
Yeah,
that's cool. The big, thick annual books or the Ladybird books.
Do you remember the WWF wrestling annuals you used to get? Remember the one where, listen, I could be here all night talking, reminiscing and stuff like that. That's superb. Connie saying that she only ever read Doctor Who annuals. Those were class. I used to have like a decade of them. Doctor Who. Yeah, not a fan. You a fan of Doctor Who, Tom?
Do you know what? I think again, Doctor Who's a little bit like Marmite. You either like it or you don't, and I'm on the fence, if you like. I'm completely indifferent. I don't care. But I definitely wouldn't say I love it. Like I've watched one or two episodes and just don't get it.
It's that and Star Trek. It's kind of it's the same thing to me.
Star Trek, I understand if you go for Next Generation with Jean-Luc Picard. I get that, but all the others, I just don't know.
Yeah, true. GP saying that he's looking at the 2000. Mate, I'd highly recommend it. See some of the art. Like if you're looking for original OG artists, British artists, likes of Brian Boland, like some of the stuff is amazing.
Brian Boland.
GP, I think I have 2 duplicate annuals somewhere. Let me try and dig them out. I'm not saying I'm going to be quick at getting it done because my job and stuff, but leave it with me and I'll have a look. And if I can find them, then they're yours. I'll get your address and stuff and sort you out. I'm almost sure they're about somewhere. But that'll start you down the rabbit hole of having to get them all in that case. That's my method and my madness. And Connie's saying here, it was the first thing that me and my dad ever did, and like our thing. I know, I get that. We used to eat breakfast and watch old reruns on Gold. Oh, I remember Gold, the channel Gold. memories, and then the relaunch from 2005. So it's very nostalgic. No, absolutely, yeah, I get that.
If you
Me
if
and
you
my
go
dad
back,
were that with Mask. See, remember
yeah,
Mask, the TV series?
yes,
That's
same
exactly
with
the
me and
same
my
thing.
grandfather and Transformers, mate. Like
Yeah.
that's why I've got such a penchant for Transformers. I was just going to say about Doctor Who. Fun fact: if you YouTube Car of the Caravan, which happens to be an animation done by yours truly,
Oh,
the voice
okay.
of one of the characters who happens to be a horse is done by Tom Baker.
Oh, fun fact. Nice.
Fun fact: I have worked
Check
with
you
Tom
out.
Baker.
Listen, guys, we could sit and we should just do this. We should just shoot this, but rather than all
Yeah,
this
just
slide
reminisce.
nonsense.
Yeah,
This is.
absolutely, mate. Let's do it.
I mean, this is exactly what we should do.
We'll log back on.
Yeah. Oh, we'll open my channel back up.
Yes, let's
Imagine,
do it.
Jesus. Oh, panels and pints all over again. Listen, guys.
Or we could open
Thank you.
my channel back up, and we're probably still on the previews stream. It's probably still going.
That was good memories. That was good memories. Listen, guys, we've taken up far too much of your time this evening. We appreciate each and everybody who has commented, who is watching, who hasn't commented, who won't comment, who won't watch, who are watching the rewind, who won't comment. We love you all. We appreciate your time. Tom, anything you want to say before we call it a night?
Just my usual, mate. Just my usual. Thanks everyone for being here, and stay safe. Stay geek.
Night,
See ya.
guys. See you later.